A chaotic good vandalism. Goody. Being nice is so easy. Just do it. Oh, it really is. But that is the unfortunate thing. It is also so easy to not be nice. As much as I'd wish it was true, it's far more true that being mean and being nice are on a very equal scale of effort. Australia's national saying is a clear example of this. Depending on who hears it, I'm being nice or I'm being rude. This shelter cat was put into solitary confinement for helping other cats escape. You crafty little devil, you.
Hey, come on, we just wanted a trip to the fish market. Hey, I'm not saying anything until I speak to my meowyer. It's a lawyer joke. Hey, you're laughing.
French environmentalists targeted sites near Toulouse, calling golf the leisure industry of the most privileged. Now, at first I felt inclined to point out that golf isn't only for rich people, it's just that rich people more commonly play it because it's a much more leisurely, easily game and sport. It's like archery and bowls mixed into one. But then I read the headline at the bottom. Climate activists fill golf holes with cement after water ban exemption. And with that in mind, fill more. You go, activists. Seriously, why don't they just convert the grass to fake grass? Sure, they'd have to re-turf the entire course over time, but I'm sure it would save you a lot of money. Now, cue someone in the comments making one simple basic point that points out how stupid my idea is. Jesse James, an outlaw, once gave a widow who housed him enough money to pay off her debt collector and then robbed the debt collector as the man left the widow's home. I hold your oath fulfilled. How I wished the internet was around back in those days. You know how many stories like this could have just been gone from history and we'd never know? Chicago man arrested after repeatedly stealing guns off of officers using a toy dino grabber. At that point, you don't arrest the guy. You pay him for his services, pointing out the gaps and flaws in your system. It's like how banks and security companies put bounties on any hackers who are able to successfully get through their system. You don't punish people for doing it, you reward them. So go on, police, reward this person. So yeah, placing bounties where people attempt to disarm police officers, I see no flaws in that. Controversial opinion, but I don't think people should go to jail for objectively funny crimes. Exactly. So if you can make the police officer laugh while you're assaulting them, it's fine. Was I asphyxiating them with laughing gas? That's irrelevant, Your Honor. A Florida man accidentally locked his 1-year-old daughter in his car, and 5 prisoners out on work detail used a coat hanger to break her out. The mother who took a video of it said, "Them prisoners bust that Schmidt right open, so thank God for the criminals in this world." You are a bad guy. But this does not mean you are a bad guy. Today I learned when the head of the Pirate Bay, Peter Sund, was arrested, he asked to phone his girlfriend so she could lock the doors of his house before going with the policeman. The policeman said yes. Instead, he pushed a button on an app that immediately encrypted all servers of the Pirate Bay. Oh, if I was that officer, I don't think I'd ever recover from this. Hey, necromancer, you're under arrest. You can't be raising the dead anymore.
Oh no, can I at least just take a book with me to read while you're processing the charges?
That checks out. Go ahead, pick your favorite book. Legend. Leg End. The Pirate Bay team are easily some of my favorite people on the planet. Oh yeah, that trial was hilarious. Neither the prosecutor nor the judges had any idea how anything of the Pirate Bay worked. Like, they didn't even understand they never had any offices. I could imagine having an advanced understanding of computer technology back in the early 2000s. You were basically a god of the modern world. Governor Greg Abbott failed to secure governorgregabbott.com, so now I own the domain and I've created this new website. Enjoy! This is the true reason we have elections. Not because we want to find out who's best to run the country. No. It's purely so that we can parade someone around and throw pies at them, metaphorically. That's the true political career. Volunteering/competing with others to be absolutely shamed, exposed, and laughed at and hated upon by almost the entire population, and the reward is a possibility of having power over all those people who wronged you. Not gonna lie, genuinely sounds like the next reality show Netflix is gonna try and push. Oopsie, something's wrong with this door. Have fun ignoring the repair now. I get that there are like certain avenues you can go to as a tenant when things aren't addressed, but sometimes Sometimes this is genuinely the only way. Because I mean, like what? Oh, how dare a tenant let you know that this property you own and are investing in is falling apart and needs to be, you know, kept in good condition so you can sell it for a good price in the future. Don't get me wrong, if you as a tenant never clean the oven, you're an a-hole and you deserve to be kicked out. But I'm speaking for people who actually are trying to be good tenants. My dad used to live in a really bad area growing up, surrounded by a lot of gangs, and he told me that there was this kind, openly gay boy that used to tutor all these gang leaders for free. And one day, a homophobe insulted him and 5 gangs found out and went to go beat him up. One very important thing I feel like many people don't realize when it comes to gang activity and gang leaders of sorts, for many, it's their only opportunity for some sense of stability and control in their lives. It's not surprising that the places that successfully get rid of gang activity are places that actually give young adults opportunities. In 2018, a Russian hacker broke into 100,000 people's routers, but with good intentions. See, he didn't do any fraud, but only changed their settings so that they don't get hacked in the future by others. Professionals have standards. This gives me the same energy as that guy on TikTok who literally goes up to random people's houses to be like, hey, can I mow your lawn for my TikTok for free? And the homeowners are just astounded. You can tell they've had no time or just completely given up on their house because of how much the lawn looks. And this dude's just wholesomely mowing the lawn. Say what you want about TikTok, but it does bring a bit of the community together in a way too. It also makes people realize they have a weird fetish for mowed lawns now, but that's not important. Let's move on. All-time move from Liquid Death just dropped. Company releases iced tea/lemonade drink named Armless Palmer. Arnold Palmer's estate threatens to sue Liquid Death over the name. Liquid Death rebrands the drink to Dead Millionaire. Literally even putting it in their advertising. If you like our Armless Palmer tea lemonade, then you're going to love our new Dead Billionaire lemonade. Why? Because it's the exact same thing, only now it has a way cooler name that won't require us to fight a senseless legal battle with a large enterprise who sent us a letter saying we can use the word Palmer, and who are also partnered with a giant iced tea corporation. So it wasn't about moral standards, it was just about competition. Both of whom have far more money to burn on legal fees than we do. Our new Dead Billionaire icons have started to trickle out on Amazon and will begin hitting retail shelves this spring. Oh, I love this. Experts are predicting potential brawls in retailers as customers fight over remaining Armless Palmer cans before they become extinct forever and reselling as collector's items for billions. I sincerely doubt that, but I do love your confidence. Yeah, it must be hard being the little dog in the fight when you're only valued at 700 million. God. Arizona iced tea is valued at around $3 billion. Yeah, wow, I thought you were being snarky about a company worth 700 million being the little guy, and then you mentioned the other being over quadruple that. What the frick? Okay, but like, at some point, there has to be a threshold towards the quality of lawyer you can get, right? Or do lawyers just like constantly inflate themselves the moment they find out someone else out there has like got a net worth of 5 billion? They're like, oh, I gotta raise my costs by an extra million to meet with, possible demand. Don't let the world fool you. Consistent kindness is the most quietly powerful thing. Okay, this totally sounds like a Disney villain monologue.
If you ever want to engage in villainy and undermine the social order, be especially kind to the people society has rejected. Care about the ones the world would convince you don't deserve your kindness. I genuinely mean this when I say to you, the ultimate act of rebellion is insisting on compassion and grace in a compassionless world.
Cool. Disruptive compassion. Got it. Yeah, reblogging because I have a lot of feelings about this and because I believe very strongly in that the most punk rock and badass thing you can ever do is live your life with aggressive empathy and kindness. Here's your Christmas present. Yeah, I know you said I didn't need to get you anything, but I don't care what you think. I don't mind straight people, as long as they act gay in public. Well, joke's on you, I'm mistaken for gay all the time. Ha ha ha, it made me really insecure in high school. I'm straight, but I act gay in public because to Southerners, there is nothing more terrifying than a 6'5", 380-pound ex-SEC football player covered in tattoos with a righteous beard who is quite flamboyant. I want to see the distraught look on their faces. I would pay to see that.
Oh my God! Is that person doing something that has no effect on my life?
Homophobes like this fascinate me. It's like poking your eyeball at the mount of an anthill that's next to the road and being like, "Get off the road! I can't get past ya!" I paid for this ad spot because I hate ads. Enjoy this pic of a cute turtle instead. Peace. And they no doubt got far more shares than any company ad would ever get. In ad companies' defense, that is a very cute pic. It was probably because of this guy that a lot of ad companies realized they should just share memes instead of, because, it's shocking revelation. Turns out people are more likely to share memes or images they like than, ads. Burglar gently waking me. Hey, you live like this? Oh my gosh, so I heard this story secondhand many years ago, but the gist was that a friend of a friend lived in what was generally considered a bad neighborhood because he was a super poor college student and it was what he could afford. Now, he didn't have any furniture. He just slept on a blanket on the floor and had a milk crate for a chair and like an old wire spool as a table. No TV, nothing in the fridge, no microwave, basically just bare walls and a roof to keep the weather off. So one day, he comes home and there's a man in his apartment just standing there with this look of utter amazement and horror on his face. And he turns to the guy who just entered and says,
"This your place? 'Cause I broke in to rob you, but hell, man, you ain't got nothing. Wait here, I'm gonna be right back."
And the burglar left, leaving a puzzled college student alone in his empty apartment. But sure enough, the burglar came back a while later and brought some friends, and they delivered a table, a couple of chairs, and a small TV.
"I think I got you a bed too, but that might take a couple of days."
So, the poor college student made some friends, and he didn't ask where they got the stuff. Okay, I do not doubt for a second this is probably a very elaborated or fake story, but who cares, I believe there are some sort of degree of Robin Hoods out there like this. Store employee doesn't like musk. The stench or the person? Sorry, I forget that they're the same thing.
25% off, 25% off, 25% off, 25% off,
Clown.
25% off.
Since the Bible says not to charge interest on loans, I think the Dems should propose a bill that removes all interest on student loans and use this as justification. Make the GOP state out loud, repeatedly, that the Bible can't be used to make policy. I do love the incentive. I am far more afraid of them doubling down on this, though. Because if they do approve of this, you've basically given them the green light to push through anything they themselves want to use the Bible as justification for. Because, hey, we permitted it with the interest rates, they can permit it with everything else now. I deleted and reinstalled my Parler app, and it's back up. For those who might have forgotten, Parler launched as a free speech alternative to Twitter, a wholesome garden of Eden for conservatives who wanted to complain about minorities.
Thanks for the wrong info. I deleted my app and there isn't a new one, and now mine is gone. Remove this post as its information is wrong.
Ah, now you care about the correct information. Feels rather annoying, doesn't it, when someone spreads misinformation? I knew a guy who sold weed in high school and college. One time, he made pot brownies to sell. In the process, he discovered a love for baking. Dude's a pastry chef now, wears cute aprons, and they say drugs lead you to ruin. It led to this man's aspiring career. In an unforgiving environment with barely decent pay rates and fairly unappreciative clients who think they could make it themselves if they really tried. I share this omen as someone who knows someone who worked in this industry. Since we're all talking about leaving Twitter again, can I bring back the idea of migrating to LinkedIn en masse and just totally destroying the professional vibe over there? Come on, people, if we can destroy the stock exchange through GameStop, I'm sure we can do this. I believe in the power of mutual... what's the word? Disdain? Ruining something overtly rich people make too big of a deal out of. Meanwhile, in the I'm White and I'm Proud of It public group on Facebook. Hi, I'm Justin, one of 57 members. I've collected enough racist stuff here for the group I'm in that outs racists. It is currently being forwarded to your employers. I even noticed some active military, which is extremely disappointing as a vet myself. Those are being forwarded to your commands and you expect your discharges to be forthcoming. I hope you all have fun waiting in the unemployment line. Oh, now, you can't be upset. After all, you're proud of it. Oh, what a shame that some of those profile photos show them with kids. The fact that we only have Herculean task and Sisyphean task feels so limiting. So here's a few more tasks for your repertoire. Icarian task. When you have a task you know you're going to fail at anyways, so why not have some fun with it before it all comes crashing down? So essentially anyone born after the year 2000 not in a high-income family bracket trying to make their way through capitalism. I'm not nihilistic, no! Cassandrian task. when you have to deal with people you know won't listen to you despite having accurate information, and having to watch them fumble about when you told them the solution from the start, most often witnessed in customer service, or as a woman in a misogynist workplace. Feel free to chime in. I ran out of ideas much faster than I anticipated. I'm gonna need the smart pants in the comment section to explain to me what the references here are of Icarian and Cassandrian and Herculean. I feel like it's got something to do with the Greeks, but yep, that's all it goes to in my brain. That's as far as I can reach. The more random people you see jogging for no reason, the higher the rent is going up. I hate how this is actually kind of accurate. This is why you should always support your local gang. They help keep property prices down. I heard a gunshot coming from my neighbor's yard late at night a few weeks after I moved in. I went to check it out. When I approached him, he told me he does it once every month or so, just to keep the property value and taxes at a reasonable level. I'm used to it now. I hate when people say, "Eat the rich!" Like, grow up. Jeff Bezos is gonna feed, what, 20 people? Maybe 30? We'd be better suited using the rich to fertilize high-yield crops like potatoes or cucumbers. In this presentation, I will explain an agricultural model based on the... Oh wow, that's a long presentation. But I'm not doing anything! This is bullshit! That's loitering. If you'd like to contest your ticket, you can go to the...
Hey, officer, is this your car?
Yes.
I'm gonna flip it over.
Hey,
better stop me.
Hey, what the f***? You're supposed to be on our side!
You do know what the word vigilante means, right?
Pretty Boy Floyd was an American bank robber who often destroyed mortgage documents while robbing banks, freeing many citizens of their debts. Though Floyd was involved in numerous murders and robberies, he had a positive public image and was known as the Robin Hood of the Cookson Hills. Also, Twitter is blowing who now? In 1994, the KKK applied to sponsor a section of the I-55 highway near St. Louis, Missouri, and the Supreme Court ruled the state could not refuse the sponsorship. So, the state of Missouri decided to rename the entire stretch of highway the Rosa Parks Freeway.
Oopsie, you supported something that's against your own cause.
So I live next door to a couple, a very conservative couple, and their twin boys. The boys can't be more than 8, and like most kids, they like to play in the backyard, which is totally fine. Doesn't bother me at all. They're kids and like to run around. What bothers me though is that they love to throw their toys over into my yard. A lot of toys. Action figures, balls, frisbees, rackets, etc. Now them throwing them over don't really bother me that much. What bothers me is that the parents keep demanding that we have to throw them back. They don't ask, they don't knock on the door and apologize. They just yell over their fence when they know that we are outside and tell us to give it back. And that bothers me. They also seem to encourage their kids to throw it over to our yard. So, after Christmas, I was at the store and saw that they had a ton of Barbies, nail polish, Bratz doll frisbees, and balls on the clearance. I bought 5 of everything I could find that I knew my neighbors would hate seeing their sons play with. Every time an action figure gets thrown over to my yard, I will throw a Barbie back with it. Every time a ball gets thrown, a Bratz ball will be returned. I already threw a couple nail polishes over and the twins went crazy. They loved it. They've had pink, purple, and green nails all week. It's been 2 days and not a single action figure has crossed my fence. More importantly, not a single rude demand from the parents to return them. The kids are having fun and I have petty revenge. Oh, editor, could you just wipe away the R that's in the second last word there? Okay, great. I just gotta get my Sniper Wolf impression on.
Aw, hell nah. More petty revenge, more like pretty revenge. And I bet those parents are feeling pretty stupid.
This came out of my dad's printer at work today.
Hi! If you're reading this message, it's highly likely that your printer is exposed to the public internet via port forwarding. Woo! This means that anyone on the internet with some technical knowledge can send print jobs to your printer. Or worse, try to exploit it and use it as a part of a global botnet. If you didn't intend for this, please look into disabling Universal Plug and Play on your router or remove the port forwarding rule for the port 9100. Signed, a friendly cat girl hacker. Ooh.
K-Star News. Lesbian escapes Russia by boat and sails to Canada to be with the woman she loves. Frickin' hell yeah, man. Sure, we don't live in that timeline where there's only one of that dealer who will literally cut you off if he thinks your life's getting too better. But in this timeline, Russia did sell Alaska to America, so at least we do have that. And okay, I got curious just to fact check that in case I was getting that slightly wrong. And no, I was right, but just all the nuance around it is fascinating. Googling, did Russia sell Alaska to America? America, back in 1867, paid Russia $7.2 million, which, I mean, that back then, insane. But to those uneducated as to why Alaska is American and, like, Canada didn't own Alaska or buy it at all, well, it turns out Canada didn't exist as a country back then. It was all still basically Britain, and Russia did not want to sell it to Britain. Essentially, the only reason Alaska is not part of Canada is because Russia was just like, screw you, Britain. I'm giving this to your ex. We're best friends now, and we'll never hate each other ever. After the description of your dad's genitalia, the first black female postmaster was pressured out of her post in Mississippi. The President Theodore Roosevelt continued to pay her salary and punish the town by rerouting their mail 30 miles away until they gave her back the position. Okay, I do feel kind of bad and wrong for using their name in that inappropriate joke, but at the same time, I was stating a fact. Anti-LGBTQ street preacher drowned out with saxophones on New York Street. Yeah, that's why I'm allowed to play my saxophone loud into the night. I'm not being noisy and disruptive to my neighbors. I'm practicing the power to silence hate speech. I'm doing a good thing. You're the bad, rude person who's ruining everything for everyone by not letting me annoy you and make you struggle to sleep. Yes. Billy Joe Armstrong is like the definition of chaotic good. A prime example of this is the fact that one time at a Green Day concert, this guy in the pit was harassing a young girl, so Billy stopped the show to help her. However, his way of doing so was to jump into the audience, drop kick the guy directly in the face, and then fight him in a crowd of screaming fans. This is missing the best part. When he saw the guy, he tried to be like, dude, stop, and when the man didn't stop pushing the girl around, he screamed, "Fine! You wanna fight? I'll frickin' fight you then!" and leapt directly into the crowd. There's a reason Green Day was my favorite band in high school, and Billy Joe Armstrong is it. I am absolutely all for Green Day. Green Day the musical, however... Do not waste your time! Oh my god, is it bad? Hey, moody teenager number 73. Good song about how you're feeling. Hey, did someone say it's September now?
Summer has come and
What,
passed.
just saying September has triggered you into a song now? Okay, alright. Yeah, that makes sense. I remember an article during the first wave of the pandemic of a teenager in the US making a fortune and being called a young businessman. Essentially, he was scalping anything that was popular while everyone was locked in, including video game consoles. Frick off. Oh yeah, I bought 6 PS5s from one guy on eBay when it first launched. He was selling them for $2,000 a piece. I had no intention of paying, but kept indicating I'd pay so that eBay didn't cancel the transaction. It postponed him selling them for about a month, and he had to drop the price to around $1,200 each, essentially losing him $4,800 profit. Say what you will about my morality, but I don't give a schmidt. I hate scalpers. He was so angry he somehow found my personal info and threatened my family. What a piece of work. When I called his bluff, he said he'd call the hospital I worked at and tell them. I said, you want to call the ICU I work at during a pandemic and tell them one of their nurses is screwing with you on eBay and you think they'll give 2 schmitts? I'll give you the number personally. I've also trolled about 10 Switch scalpers on Facebook Marketplace and had them meet each other to sell instead of me. See? Sometimes trolling is good for society. I'm sending nudes to every person who donates at least $10 to any one of these fundraisers for the wildfires in Australia. Every $10 you donate equals 1 nude picture from me to your DM. You must send me confirmation that you donated. Please retweet. The good old days in early 2020. This chick raised over $10K for Australia in less than a day by sending nudes. Some heroes don't wear capes. they don't wear anything. Next time y'all want to shame sex workers, I'm gonna ask how much you've raised for charity. What a memorable moment in history. Someone flashing some bulbs in Vernon was far more steadfast and, I guess, proactive than our own Prime Minister. Please remember that when Doom Guy was ordered to fire on unarmed civilians, he punched his commanding officer, and that's why he was sent to Mars. Be like Doom Guy. I am deliberately stealing a design by Disney in a way that is unlicensed.
Oh, suck my stinky mouse tongue, Disney!
This is copyright infringement, not parody. I want to get sued by Disney Corporation. As beautiful as this is, I'm sure you want some context, so here you go, open wide, here comes the airplane. Twitter is plagued by art thief bots. Any image that has multiple comments along the line of, I want this on a t-shirt, will be automatically uploaded and sold without the artist's knowledge. So, artists started making images full of blatant copyrighted images like the one above, and asking people to spam comment, I want this on a t-shirt, then report the site to Disney. A few of these t-shirt bot sites have actually been taken down this way. The truest killer of automation. Ingenuity. Police have arrested a Minnesota man who checked his sick wife out of a nursing home to throw her a death party. Her final hours included meth, listening to metal, and having intimacy, authorities said. I fail to see the problem here. Dude gave her more fun and excitement than her nursing home could ever give. India is saving endangered rhinos with one simple trick. Poachers hate them. Kazaranga's ruthless rangers have reduced rhino poaching by simply gunning down poachers at sight. Yeah, who knew that these guns actually work on humans too, not just predators? Wow. Despite what the Bible says about stealing, a Church of England priest suggested Saturday it was no sin to shoplift as long as the victim is a big supermarket. Jesus said, love your neighbor. He didn't say love Mark and Spencer's. The Rev.
Okay, fine. The Brits can take this one W for once.
Father Jones explained that his advice does not contradict the Bible's 8th commandment because God's love for the poor and despised outweighs the property rights of the rich. Damn, what? Mate, I think you're converting me. The first year I got Twitter, someone tweeted, cops all have tiny peepees. And we watched as a cop got so mad, he tweeted his peepee and was suspended from Twitter and being a cop. I haven't left since. Look, if that's your first trial experience, I don't blame you. This machine will charge you $1.99 for cash withdrawals. Well, time to destroy this business strategy with the power of a Sharpie. I love that they give the time distance as well. Beautiful touch. Stealing a person's dog so it can actually live. Oh, man. That's just... I'm happy for you. Thank you. Looks so peaceful and junky.
That's not stealing, it's rescuing. I mean, it's both.
Benevolent thieving.
I'm a long-haired native who doesn't steal, so whenever I get followed in a store, I keep the employee on my tail for as long as possible to make it a little easier for people who need to steal to get what they need.
Work isn't supposed to be fun. Medicine is supposed to taste bad. Life is supposed to be hard.
Like, why? Says who? We operate under this false notion that everything is supposed to suck when it doesn't have to. That's the whole point of advancement, to make stuff suck less. Okay, look, I'm fully on board with this, but you tell me how else to persuade a damn child to have their medicine. They don't care it's good for them. They just want it to taste good. I say this as someone who sulked all the time when he had to have cough medicine, and now I don't mind it at all, which I feel like should be a problem considering it's more of an alcoholic taste when you think about it. School board member sworn in on pile of banned books to troll Moms for Liberty. Oh, so a Bible then. Apparently my kid got in trouble today for packing our toaster in his backpack and pulling it out at lunch to make Pop-Tarts for his class. I can't stop laughing. Please help, my muscles have cramped out of pain from so much laughter. This is no longer a funny experience, my stomach muscles have cramped. This man stole a car, and upon realizing that there was a baby inside, he returned the baby, scolded the parents for leaving the car unattended with the baby inside, and proceeded to steal the car again. Listen, I'll take your financial responsibility that it is this car, but I'm not going to take your financial responsibility that is this baby. Unpopular opinion. I don't think your life has to have a purpose, or you a grand ambition. I think it's okay to just wander through life finding interesting things until you die.
But then how does capitalism win?
I just finished beating someone up and I hate myself for it, but he kicked my cat. I just had a roommate coming to my house drunk and trying to start a fight with me, and when I didn't reciprocate, he kicked my 6-week-old kitten. I proceeded to beat his ass for 30 minutes. I feel very ashamed, but I love my cat. It was multiple beatings in a 30-minute time frame. Look, you had everyone on your side the moment you said 6 week. Sorry, no, let's be more real. The moment you said cat. 15 years ago, 5 friends and I drunkenly painted a crosswalk on a dangerous street in our college town. Shockingly, people actually used it, and the city installed a legitimate crosswalk there soon after. Now it's in a national publication. Oh, the automotive industry isn't going to appreciate that. You encouraging more walking access in public infrastructure? Streets should be for cars only. Just look at all those cities in Europe that avoid using cars too much in their inner city areas. They're miserable. They look disgusting.